was laughing about too. Like this actually happened. This actually happened a while back. One thing, cause I'm probably gonna mention this during the when we start the podcast and whatnot too. One thing before, like I mentioned, like a long time ago that you mentioned a long time ago. Too. One thing that I like that you said is that some people may not, like some like women or people, they may not like it when you take up for yourself, but eventually they'll grow to respect it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Actually, I just had a moment at work the other day when a dude was like just bitching about like not getting his food when he wanted to, and I sat there, stood up, I'm like, listen, sir, I've been busy. This is what it is. Like, I can do what I can. You can get like, yeah, I can let you have a drink for free for like the wait and stuff. And he still just kept bitching, and I was like, listen, dude, I can refund your order. You can go to another store. Like, and after that, he was like, no. And by the time I got him his food, he sat there, flipped the script entirely, apologized. He was like, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I know it's not you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, thank you. Actually, that means so much that you just acknowledged that you were being a fucking cunt.
For real though. Cause honestly, like it takes real actually like self-realization to realize when you need to like check yourself in a sense.
Yeah. What, am I already live?
Yeah, it does, but you gotta change the title though.
I do gotta show. Why is that hasn't been the title in so fucking long? What?
For real.
I'm confused because normally I have to hit a button to like start the stream, so I didn't know that it was started. I started hearing like yourself through your microphone, and I was like, am I losing my mind right now?
Right. Like, are we in a matrix?
Yeah, dude. I'm like, it makes sense if like I was hearing it like feedback through mine, but no, I was hearing you just twice through your headphones.
Cause I was playing, cause I was actually checking my phone and whatnot, and I was wondering if you went live yet. But then I remembered.
I didn't think I did, but I guess we're there. Cool.
Yeah. You still changing the title there?
Yeah, I'm changing it right now. We're on number 3, right?
Yep, we are.
Levels of... Dude, today is not my day. I'm having such an awful time spelling. But we're good. I got 2 bangs sitting next to me. A shotgun one of these, and we're golden.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I actually started out today, like very positive, especially like with this music that I was listening to. Because honestly, bro, like taking a break from like not being on certain things along for a minute and then getting back on, it feels like the ultimate refresher, bro. Like,
yeah,
it's
actually,
almost
no,
like
I
you're
know
recollecting
entirely
stuff.
what you mean. I just had 2 days off after like a literal 80-hour work week, and in between that 80-hour work week, I was still like coming home, partying, doing all sorts of shit. So yeah, I feel it. Those 2 days off fucking felt amazing, even though I still had to do shit during them. But it wasn't as crazy as all the other ones.
Yeah, I believe that when you actually start to adjust for certain things, like even like back then when we were in school, like we would be like super tired on like when you first get back to it. But then once you actually adjust it, as soon you be like, all right, as soon as I get the hell out of here, we about to go do whatever, whether it's the movies, go to a friend's house or whatever you decide to do.
Well, it's a big thing, especially back at school. It was something that we were forced into, and it was such a drug. That's why I'm pretty sure I talked to you the one night about it. I was like, that's why I honestly want to see like a major overhaul of our education system. It's painful to see like especially like TV shows or anything like that show how like interesting school could be and then to look at the reality of what our school is, you know?
Absolutely, because it kills me the fact that I literally will have to go, and then everybody else is gonna have to go through the same thing. I'm like, people will then the fact that like some kids like they're smarter than what other people give them credit for, and as soon as they're like what am I here for? Why am I doing this? They just tell you, well, just go ahead and just finish out. You're already here, and then and that's when you find. Then as soon as you're done, that's when they finally want to listen.
Yeah. I don't know, another thing. It's definitely I think the age has something to do with it too. Cause like I definitely think we're right for trying to teach kids younger, because it like gets them. It like helps psychologically help build their foundation. But at the same time, for like serious like important school and stuff, nowadays I think about it, I'm like, dude, I can go to school and like do all this stuff. Like I'm personally interested in doing it, you know. But back then, I was like, I'm literally a dropout. Like back then, I didn't care, you know. I didn't want to.
Feel it. I'll just definitely say like ultimately just take the route. And one thing I can definitely tell people is take the route that you want to take, in a sense, because ultimately you're not going to get anywhere doing what other people want you to do. Because I've seen people take the whole like school college route, and then they're not where they want to be, and then they become like resentful towards the people who told them to go that route when they should have just followed their gut. But
Yeah.
you good to go though?
Yeah, actually, I'm advertising it on Snapchat right now.
For sure.
I actually like. I'm having such a day. I did the advertisement so lazy. I took a picture of the title and then fucking put the link on there, and that's all it was.
Hey, good enough.
I got there, dude. How does our fucking stream already have 5 playbacks? Who the fuck mashed their fucking refresh button? We're
They're probably
literally
like,
2 minutes in.
right. They're like, man, did they start yet? Like, and they'll keep coming back and back. Let me put it up on Twitter. Oh yeah, and oh yeah, random before we start too. Like you ever seen? I actually finally watched that show Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, I've heard about it. The one about meth.
Yep, it was. As old as that show is, I binge watched it like a while back, and that show was amazing.
I've heard good things about it. I just didn't get into it because I don't think it's up my alley. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
But I might. I guess the concept of it isn't really up anyone's alley. I don't think anyone just wakes up like, man, wonder what it's like to be a meth lord.
right.
Like, I don't know if there's anyone that wakes up and thinks that.
Oh yeah, definitely not. The reason I got into it is I like the acting. Like the dude who played like the father from Malcolm in
Oh,
the Middle, he plays Walter
Walter
White.
White, yeah.
I'm like, just to see him go from like a comedy goofy role to that serious role, I was like, this guy is brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, no, actually, I've heard that the acting's pretty good, and a lot of people like the character of I think his name is Jesse. I could be wrong.
Yep. Just the Aaron Paul real name. It's
Yeah.
funny. I had posted a meme. Of the Walter White Heisenberg thing on my Twitter, where they said, where the catch was, I don't even know this Quan, and me, and I put like the clip of Walter saying, "If you don't know who I am, your best course is to tread lightly." Like I've been rewatching that scene for days on end now, bro. That show is the shit. But you ready?
Yeah, I think I am. I think everything's set. Got everything loaded up. I'm looking at the right screen. The visuals should be good. I feel like if the visuals were off, you would have told me by now.
Yep. Yeah, we're all good. All right,
Start
let's get the
submitting.
rocket.
Alrighty. Welcome to the third episode of Contextless. Today we're talking about levels of respect with my co-host Quan from Truth Out of Context.
It feels good to be back, and if I could kick this off, see, one thing that people seem to get confused is the aspect of how to actually give people respect. But like from my perspective, there's 3 levels. one, common decency, which you should pretty much show people that you don't know, because you don't start out just treating somebody like scum under the bottom of your shoe. You just don't do that. Then there's the second level, which is liking someone when you first start to get to know them. You got common interests and whatnot and stuff like that. And the third is the highest level of where you actually see everything about this person. You see the things you don't like, you see the things you disagree with, but you still manage to coexist. That's the ultimate level of respect.
Yeah, definitely. That's something I very much agree with. I remember when just popping it off the top of my head, that I think the 3 levels was what I brought up to: the common decency, the straight up just fucking hate this man, and then you know basically revering them. Um, and I feel like there's a big like wave of people who just automatically assume they should already be on that highest tier of respect just off bat. And I don't really agree with that. I feel like this world is very much a prove yourself type of world, you know? Work for what you want rather than expecting it to just come your way.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that, because that's like a big contradiction that a lot of people have. Like, one side, people want to be like, oh, you need to show this person the utmost respect, whether they're older than you, a different gender, different sexuality, or whatever. Then on the other side, they'll literally tell you, oh, if you want respect, then you have to earn it. So which one is it? You literally will tell, like, you're literally telling somebody to show respect for one thing, while you're telling another side they have to earn it. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, actually. Real quick, I do gotta step out and grab something. Sorry, I said I was ready to start, but I'll be back in literally like 2 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh yeah. Also, to go a little further into my point of that is, like, with the levels of respect, is one thing people don't seem to get is it's completely like unfair in a sense to treat somebody like that, and that's what society literally will tell you to do to certain people nowadays. Because for some reason, we live in a world where if you disagree with somebody or you don't do what they want you to do, they will literally cast you aside and treat you like crap. All because the majority said you should do this, and you say, "Wait, I have another side." So ultimately, you gotta look at yourself and think before you decide to just follow the crowd. And our co-host will be back in 1 second.
all right, sorry about that.
Yep.
Where were we at in the conversation?
Yep. Yeah, pretty much right. Pretty much what I was saying was, like, especially like, is there's a contradiction when it comes to certain things where they say, like, if you want respect, you gotta earn it, versus somebody telling you that when you meet somebody that you don't even know, that you need to show them respect, whether it's like somebody older than you or something like that. Like, what do you think? What's your thoughts on that aspect?
I think very much is what it is people projecting their levels of respect onto someone and being offended when you don't share that. When, like I said, it's very much a prove yourself world. And even if that person has proved themselves to you and you do have that respect, and very clearly you care about that respect a lot because it challenges your beliefs almost to see someone not respect them, is if it's someone truly worth respecting, they can prove that again and again and time again, you know? And if they can't, then, well, is it really someone worth respecting? And that they shouldn't be receiving that level that you think they should off bat, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because even in terms of even in terms of proving yourself, one thing people need to understand is also like how you like establish yourself. It will actually determine the amount of respect that you get. Because, like you said before we went live, that some people may not like it when you take up for yourself. Eventually they'll grow to respect it. Like, I actually have a funny story about that too. I remember like when I was like younger and I was gaming and whatnot, and most of the older people will like talk shit to me, and I really wouldn't say nothing because I didn't want to rock the boat. But this one day, I decided to clap back when the person said, "You idiot, you're the reason why we lost," and I told him, "Go have another cupcake, you silverback gorilla." Now, originally, dude was pissed that I flamed him, but later on down the line, he grew to respect me because he seen I wasn't going for it.
Well, actually, that almost perfectly segues into what my next thought was, is something that I actually wish we would have brought up in the establishing yourself, episode, but it works out perfectly here. Is people feel like if they don't receive a certain level of respect or they don't carry themselves a certain way, that it makes them look like they don't deserve it. It makes them feel insecure, like challenges their beliefs of themselves. So in that case that you said where you like flamed him, even if it was something dumb, that man's upset that you said that, for one, because you've triggered his personal insecurities, however small they are. But in that moment, very much so, the person is worried about how they're perceived by everyone around them. Because as humans, we're social creatures. So we are,
Yep.
even on a very minor level, very, very worried about how the people around us perceive us. But
Oh, yeah.
once they slow down and actually realize that your, little dumb comment that was just for funsies isn't gonna like cripple everyone's view of them, they slow down and they think like, all right, cool, that wasn't bad, and he's standing up for himself.
That was that was explanation, man. Because you're definitely right, and that's just like a small thing I wanted to add on to. Even like the little things don't matter. It's your overall everything you do overall is going to determine who you are. Respect, not necessarily not one contained incident. Because even in going like a little further into the aspect of like respect, like let's look at it from like a guy perspective in a sense. Like, what do they tell us? They tell us like as a man, if you want respect, you have to do A, B, C, D, correct?
hmm
But they'll tell you nowadays that, oh, you like this is a woman who yada yada yada, and you should respect her solely because she's a woman. So now we have these issues where people want to talk about like sexism or whatever, but it literally hasn't translated to equality or equity respect. It's literally just had a role reversal type thing. So what's your thoughts on that in a sense?
I think that definitely, like, that has roots back in our primitive, kind of way, like people who respect women and all that stuff. It's, you still very much respect women, but their idea of respect has changed over the years as we've become more modern. So people who are older and stuff, they kind of still have that protector sort of mentality where like the women are fragile, they are this, and that, and this is how we should act in accordance to that. When in reality, a lot of those statements just flat out aren't true anymore. So we should be shifting our levels of respect, or shifting our viewpoints of how people are to, as we discussed earlier, what they prove themselves to be. You know, we don't live in a world where a fucking like bear or a fucking bandit's just gonna pull up and fucking attack you, steal all the food, and probably kill and rape your wife. Like, it can still happen, but the actual probability of it is so fucking minute these days.
Right.
So you don't, viewing the women and stuff as fragile isn't, as big. And also, if you just look at modern weaponry, has shifted from back when you looked at a sword, skill played into it, but it also entirely played into strength as well. Like, some people are just gonna overpower you because they're stronger. You look at a fucking Glock, it does the same thing whether it's in the hands of a female or a male. It just does. There's no
Right.
it's a trigger in a barrel. Like, you can't fuck it up.
Right. Unless you just one of them like wimps who turn like ghost white whenever you see a damn gun. You will need some help. For sure. Get you some mace.
If you turn ghost white at a gun that is in your own hand, then you have your own issues that you should probably work out, because in previous, generations and stuff, you probably would have been off by natural selection. But we don't live in that world anymore. So you should probably work on that. Like, I'm not trying to say you're less than anyone else. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. It doesn't matter in this world. So no, you're not less than the other person. Just go get the help you need. Stop avoiding it.
Absolutely. And to add a little bit more to that as well is, especially about being less than, the problem nowadays is people will literally tell you that you have to go through like all these steps just to even get the common decency level of respect. Because as soon as the quote unquote woke or cancel culture has begun, you literally do start out as the dirt under somebody else's shoe. Because the problem is whenever you say something that someone disagrees with or you don't do what someone wants you to do, then that's when they attack. Then that's when they try to rip you apart. Then that's when they try to say you're not deserving of even the common decency. Like, unless you did something that's so horrible that you shouldn't be around, then common decency shouldn't be something that has to be bought, especially because I have a different opinion than you.
Yeah, and I feel that one actually pretty fucking heavily as in the topic of SJWs, I am like the one of the picture fucking perfect enemies, the straight white fucking male who's kind of leaning towards the Republican side in every way, shape, and form. I am what they're against. And I have had that come up. Like, I remember my buddy was talking to this girl, and he had to work, so he had me take her out, which I guess is a little weird, but I'm there for my buddy. This is like my best friend. I'm like, cool, I got you. I'll take her out. And we're sitting there, and she just looks at me, right, as I'm trying to figure out how to use chopsticks, dude. I've never used chopsticks, and I'm like, sure, yeah. Do you know how to use chopsticks? You call me retarded, whatever. I don't care. I'm just over here trying to figure out how to use the chopsticks. This is literally all I'm fucking bothered with. And I got so fucking happy because I figured it out, dude. I'm like, dude, look, I can pick shit up with a chopstick. She looked at me. She's like, oh, I forgot. You're white. Like, you have no culture. And I would just sat there and stared. I'm like, this is a wild world. I'm actually being attacked by an SJW. What a time to be alive right now.
Right. It's crazy. Oh, no, you go ahead. My fault.
Oh, I was just going to say, I didn't escalate the situation. I stopped, thought about it, and I just looked at her. I was like, of course I have culture. Have you ever listened to the song Pumped Up Kicks?
Man, I swear, man, that joke is funny as hell, man. And I wouldn't necessarily worry about being an SJW, because anybody who just disagrees with anything they have to say
Oh yeah, the
is pretty
fucking
much.
absolute enemy, like demonized fucking hellspawn.
But honestly, like I'd rather be the enemy of somebody than just to fold and go along with something I can't agree with. That's why even people who like manipulate others, I don't honestly think I have the stomach to do it because part of that is going along with somebody else's BS, and I don't have the stomach to do that.
Yeah. Um, there is kind of an interesting topic for me because I can be a very manipulative person when I want to, and I used to be a lot worse about it, but I'm better about it. I still do kind of use it for, I guess, ways that I think can be beneficial to like friends and stuff. Like if I know something, I know what buttons to push to make them do the thing they should do that they are just scared of doing. You know what I mean?
That shit happens. At least you're honest about it. And there's actually another aspect that I actually wanted to go into as far as respect. I remember I was listening to this guy, and to quote him exactly, he was pretty much trying to say that he said you cannot teach somebody how to show you respect because what is that? They're just following guidelines. They're faking. He said that it's either a person respects you or they don't. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I 100% wholly agree with that. I I feel like if you teach someone to respect you and how to respect you, it's even if they do actually respect you, like you can teach them how to respect you, and they could very well respect you. Hell, that might even be why they're so mesmerized into doing what you do. But you'll never truly know like what they'd want to do on their own. You never truly know like how they are. Like actually, this goes back to another episode we had with the I forgot what it was actually called, but we were talking about relationships and
Oh yeah,
how
OnlyFans.
yeah, and how people can sit there and be in a relationship and they'll be like, yeah, I love you, I respect you, but then go and do something like they want to go do and not even like bring it up or anything, like, and just completely disregard their partner's feelings. Um,
Yeah,
so if you just show them like this is how to respect, then I feel like it's just not genuine, you know, in like the slightest. I guess is how I
I,
can sum that up.
oh yeah, I wholeheartedly agree because I look at a lot of the people that I genuinely respect, and I look at them like one of my homies. It's like because you remember Wallace. It's
Yeah.
like been friends with that guy for over 10 years, like a brother to me. And one of the main reasons I respect him is because as much as we used to get into some heavy disagreements, ever since I met that guy, he showed me that he's not gonna be a yes man for me, and I had to give him the utmost respect for that because regardless of if I agree or like his opinions or not, he stands firm on what he believes in. Because even look at a lot of the people who they try to tell who will come to you and try to tell you, oh, you don't have to like me, but you better give me my respect. Whether it was a parent or that bald headed pot belly teacher that you couldn't stand being in class with. Ultimately, when someone tells you you better respect me, how does that go? Not very well, right?
No, because at the beginning you're showing very much a level of hostility, which puts people at ease and very much makes them defensive, makes them see you as an enemy.
Absolutely. And that's one thing people need to recognize. Like, stop being so damn hypocritical and saying, "Oh, respect is earned," but they say, "Oh, because I've been on this earth 3 times your life, but you ain't done nothing,"
You know
that they should give
what's
you respect.
you know what's crazy? The people who demand respect and shit like that are often the people who absolutely will not show it. They just fucking won't. They will be like such cocks to even like random strangers. You know?
Absolutely. And that's the problem. Like, that's the problem, man. Because ultimately, like, even when it comes to the aspect of them improving themselves, like the most respected people are the ones who actually treat you like an equal, talk to you, and not just try to go around you. Because even in the aspect of like showing like the younger generation respect, I remember this person tried to tell this mom of her kids because she lets her kids like make decisions for themselves, certain decisions at least. She said, "Oh, why are you letting them do this, this, and that? They're not your equals." And she was like, "They are my equals. I brought them here, and they're people just like me, and they have their own minds. Like our job is to guide them, not to control them." So the fact that a person will tell you that this person isn't your equal just shows that you don't necessarily have the same amount of respect for everyone.
Yeah.
And you claim you should.
Yeah, and even if by whatever barometer you're using there is some level of truth to you not being equals and you being quotes superior to them. It's not humble to dwell on it. For one, just at the very basic level, you're just not being humble, which is not a good trait at all. And it's very comparable to the argument between a leader and a boss. Like a boss will point you, believe they're above you and shit like that. A leader, even if they are, technically above you, like say in a workplace, they're getting paid more, they hold more respect with the higher ups and stuff like that. By that standard, they are, quotes, superior. Like their voice goes farther. But you're going to get a hell of a lot more respect if you don't dangle that in front of people and you sit there and you make people feel comfortable with you, show them that you are, even if you're above them, still just a person. Because at the core, you are just a person. No matter what your title is, what your position is, you are just a person. At the end of the day, when you go home, you are still sleeping in the same bed. Well, not the same bed. There's some people,
Right.
different financial situations. If you sleep on the floor, you're still sleeping fucking somewhere, whether it be in the fucking ditch or in a fucking king size bed. You're sleeping somewhere.
Right.
You're still a fucking person. You're still
Absolutely.
dying in the same casket, I guess would have been a better analogy there, but you know,
Yeah, you damn right. Cause at the core thing, just like you said, because that was beautiful, man. It's like people breathe the same air as you. They have to eat, drink, like sleep and shit the same as you. So the fact that people let their egos literally take them to the point of, oh, why should I have to respect this person because I have more money than them, or I have a better house than them, or whatever, or I have a Tempur-Pedic and he has an air mattress. Like it just shows like how delusional a lot of people got because of material objects.
oh yeah, being materialistic is definitely, especially in the modern world, such a very prominent thing. Especially if you look at it, me and you both from the city. We're from the Detroit metro area. We are, born and raised in the metropolis. I don't know how often you journey outside of the metropolis area, but it's a fucking whole nother world out there if you actually look at it. Like, a lot of their mentality and stuff are the same and stuff, but you'll notice people are a lot less materialistic out there. People are, just recently I had my brother who lives out fucking in Hickville over here, and I remember here a very statement he said as we're at a park. He's like, "Yeah, just listen to the white noise of the city." And I'm like, "Now I know it's there. Like I hear about it, but I just don't hear it. Like it's just not there."
Oh yeah. I,
And oh, I'm sorry. Let you go.
and I know you go ahead. I wasn't gonna say nothing.
Oh, but
Mm-hmm.
it's very different. But because we're out in the city and we're surrounded by so many more people, humans, like I said, they care a lot about what people think of them. They want to be held in high regard. And even to some degree, they have this idea that they have to, quotes, be the alpha. So they feel like they have to climb that level. They have to be competitive at some level. So when you're out in the city, it's very easy to look at, especially in a capitalist economy, as what you have being where you are on the barometer, where you are on the pitchfork, the food chain is what there we go, on the chopping block. It's seven different freaking metaphors you want to put for it, but it's where you're standing.
Yeah.
How successful you are, how whatever. And it's people genuinely believe if you don't show it, then it can't be there. And why would you not want to show it? You know, there's a lot of people that believe that. They believe there is absolutely no reason that if you get a fucking like $10,000 paycheck, like a tax return or something, fucking they feel like they gotta go out and get a new house, they gotta get the brand new fucking car and shit, and they gotta be like, yeah, this is where I'm at, this is how I've quotes leveled up my life, you know? And if you
And
break it down, it's not that important.
it's really not, because even when you look at like a lot of people who actually are wealthy, they don't have to do stuff like that. Like, I always find it so stupid that people will say that they don't care what other people think. Like, even like the example you said, like they got $10,000 and they'll buy a goddamn $8,000 car. Like, for what? Just so you can get props from people that you claim you don't even care about?
Yeah. Yeah, you still go
Like,
home,
I
you're
don't.
still alone. Still alone, still with the same person you're with, or if you're the type of person that you care about new people every night, you still with a different person you don't understand. Like you're still missing fucking something, whether or not you're fucking flashing your gold chains or not, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Because until people actually start finding like the priorities, like finding like the priorities and showing and seeing what's really important, then they'll actually never have the true thing they desire. Because as much as people, because the fact that people will really look at some of the wealthiest in the world, people who are like Bill Gates, Michael Jordan, they don't even wear their own products a lot of times. Like you don't see Bill Gates with a damn Gucci belt and a $7,000 shirt.
No, absolutely not. He's like, yeah, no. Like, sure, there are millionaires and billionaires out there that are like that, but a lot of people just group all of the 1% of that, into one group. No, they're demographic too. There's different splits off and stuff. There's Rockefeller, there's Bill Gates. Like, Bill Gates is controversial because he wants to put the microchip in your head and track your COVID with the 5G, but Bill Gates in general, if you look at it, is a man who focused on innovation, pushing the world forward, and he doesn't care that much about like shit like that. You look at the Rockefeller family, almost every single one of them is fucking terrible. They hoard wealth, they don't want to pay their employees, they use dirty tricks to sell more, and they're always walking around in a fucking uh what even is the brand? I don't even remember the brand. Fucking they're walking around in a name brand suit almost all the time, you know?
You're right. Yeah. And I'm actually glad you broke that down. But also, like, the final thought I had on this overall is there are levels there are levels of respect that people need to reach in order to be even half of where anybody else is. But what I want people to do is take a look at some of the people you respect and admire the most and ask yourself, why do you respect them? What did they do to make you look at them in the way you do? And take some steps and take some of what they do and apply that to yourself, because ultimately this whole mentality that people should respect you just because of who you are is a fairy tale. Like, if you want respect, you have to be a respectable person. You have to earn it. Do things that help make people respect you, and you'll be able to get to where you want to go.
Yeah, and I definitely second and third the looking at these people and thinking about it. Because if it's someone that's truly worthy of respect, it may take you some time to think about what they did, and when that respect triggered. But you should be able to name it. And if you can't, then you're probably brainwashed into respecting them. Realistically.
Yep.
And like I said, I brought it up earlier. If it's someone truly worthy of respect, they don't feel the need to demand it. Um, like this is gonna sound narcissistic, and I don't like using these as examples, but it's the best example I have right now. I'm someone who's known by a lot of people and stuff, and I've heard so many people tell me that they've heard stories about me and stuff, and it builds up expectation and stuff. But I've taken it upon myself not to let that hit my ego and bump me up and just walk up to somebody and be like, oh yeah, you've heard my name, you should know who I am and stuff. I still, even if they say that they've heard about me and they like stories and stuff, I still look at that person. I'm like, well, let's start from scratch. Let's build up. I want to get to know you. You can actually get to know me. Stuff like that. I don't demand the respect out of people, and you shouldn't do that, especially if you're someone who lets ego take control of your life. You're probably not someone who actually deserves respect, realistically.
So, absolutely. I agree with that 1,000,000%.
And in general, another point I want to make is the title is Levels of Respect. But realistically, there aren't specific levels. It's almost like
Right.
it's a spectrum, really. As much as I hate saying that word after the Bill Nye thing, but it is a spectrum. There's points on that bar, but you can be in different places of the bar. You can be, in the middle of common decency and, absolutely revering that person. That's probably realistically where most of your friends sit. You're giving your friends more than common decency, but you're not sitting there going like, God damn, that man's fucking amazing. I'm gonna fucking get down there and blow him real quick just because he's a fucking stand-up guy.
If you do that with anybody, I think you're going way too far.
Yeah, that's some level. That's some fucking respect right there.
For real.
Boy, if you respect that person that much, I fucking want to meet them. Fucking, I want to see why you're there.
Hell no.
But yeah, and then there could also be, people that like you don't fucking despise, you can be around, but you don't necessarily like. You don't have to hit, these 3 levels. Like you don't fucking literally go from like 1 to 2 and then to 2 to 3. But you should always absolutely start at 0 with common decency, no matter what. Even if you, like, a big thing you'll see is strangers and stuff getting into arguments and stuff, and right off bat, just because it's some stupid little argument, they will drop the common decency already. They will just fucking forego it entirely. Don't do that when you're meeting new people. Keep your head on straight. Don't let your, thoughts cloud your judgment. Go into it if you're arguing, being like, okay, why are we arguing? What's the point? Where do I actually stand in this argument? And let's fucking settle this.
Yep. And ultimately, give people that common decency until people can show you a reason why they don't. And please don't let it be something stupid.
That bitch ate my ring pop. Fuck her.
Hell.
Divorce his wife because she ate the ring pop.
Right. Saying, hey, I like cherry. Like, why you eat it? That was mine.
Fucking stupid bitch. Fucking rips ring off her finger and runs away.
If you do that, you need to do some reevaluation, my friend.
I feel like if you're at that point, you're barely living life, dude. You're fucking clinging to whatever last straws you got.
You definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think that just about sums it up. This was kind of a shorter episode. We started a little late, ended about the same time. But it was a pretty straightforward topic, and we had a pretty good talk about it. I very much enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I brought it up last time, but you knew it was coming. I had a few ideas, never wrote them down in the Google Docs. I'm dumb. I don't think we got a topic for next week yet.
Oh yeah, we do.
What is it?
Like, so which one you want to do? Like, levels of attraction, or why are people attracted to negativity?
I'm not entirely sure. I think we can decide that off of You know what? Let's do levels of attraction. That's a fun one. That's a fun one that
I'm
can
with
go
it.
that can go controversial pretty fucking quick. So let's fucking do it. Why not?
Yeah, I'm with it. Next week, levels of attraction. Wednesday at 9 p.m. Be here.
Alrighty. And we will catch you guys then.
Peace and love.